Hi, good morning, everyone. We'll start in a few minutes. Hi, good morning. Yeah, all right, let's start. All right, good morning once again. Thank you for joining and taking your time. Today's topic is about pre-sales camera training, and we are only focusing on camera today. All right, so there are four major series of cameras. Okay, L, sorry, the four major series are Q, X, P, and T. Okay. Now, Wisenet cameras, there are many features which we will be seeing today, and the cameras are divided into four major series. Okay, Q, X, P, and T. Now, all of this is manufactured by us, so the operation, the way of feature configuration, the the expectations from the camera in terms of how WDR or how analytics will work will be the same because it's all from the same vendor, that is from Hanwha, right? So it's sometimes I have worked with other vendors where because they OEM, they buy cameras from two different OEM, so there will be a difference between camera 1 and camera 2. Some difference will be there, and even in performance, even in the way you configure certain things. So, however, for us, it's the same thing. So, I'm going to just show you through camera, one or two cameras, show you the web page and how different features are located. After that, we will dive into the pre-sales part of the training. Okay. Now, today you should learn one thing, that is which series to go for as a pre-sales engineer, which series to go for. Q series is more affordable than X, X is more affordable than P, P is more affordable than T series. All right, this decision making is your responsibility. There are many tools available, but the tools still cannot decide whether you need X series or Q series. The reason is you can find the same camera specifications in both Q and X. So you have to be very clear whether you're okay with Q or X. Now, how to decide is simple. If you need five features and Q is of having five features, you can go with Q. X also will have it. P also will have it. So if your budget does not require extra AI features or artificial intelligence features, you can avoid it using X. Or if it does not require advanced AI, you can avoid using P. Alright, so the same feature you'll find from Q to T. However, you have to decide whether you want Q or X. Under X, there are many versions with AI, without AI, extreme version, standard version. So this is something we will see today, and you have to learn that part, which series to go for. Rest of the things, there is a nice tool which will do the job. If you select IR length, it will select the model. If you choose indoor, it will choose the indoor model. So all that selection part later on can be decided by the toolbox, but the primary part is which series to go for. Okay. Now, there is something fundamental across all series. This is how we started with. So my initial statement was all the cameras are from the same company. So the way you expect certain features are same across all. So I'm going to go through one of the camera, I open it up and show you how it works uh, on the web page. Okay, let's open. Yeah, so there are two series now with AI. P series have AI and X series also has AI. So, okay, so there is a question. Let me see if I can. So if someone needs face detection camera, which series should I go with, P series or X, as both have AI now? Okay. Now, both are doing, as you said, both are doing the same one. The difference between X series AI and P series AI, the difference is attributes. Okay. How to explain that? Um, P series AI can, um, I mean, when you search using AI function, let's say I'm looking for a person or I'm looking for a face, that is the object. Okay. Both P series and X series, both P and X AI have AI based object detection. So remember this word object detection. What are the objects? Car, basically vehicle. Okay. Vehicle can be different types. Car, bus, truck, motorbike. This is the type of vehicles. Then another object number two, humans. Object number three, face of any person. Four, license plate. Just it detects there is a license plate. Next, um, both P, both P and X can use or uses AI for below object detection. All right. Now, what P series does, P series additionally extracts attributes of objects, which is this is for P series. What is the attribute of the vehicle, which is car, whether it is a bus, motorbike, etc. Then color, two colors, color of the car, red color. Okay. For human, male, female, and shirt color, trouser color. Okay, so color of this for the face, mask detection, age group. So these are attributes. So this is what P series can do. Whereas if you take X series AI, it has vehicle and attributes, but limited. It will detect car, bus, truck, all that is fine. Motorbike, motor, it's all okay, but no color. Cannot detect color of the car. For a person, that's it. Cannot, no attributes such as male, female, nothing. No color of the shirt, nothing. Just okay, it detects it has a person using AI based analytics. Okay, so accurately it detects. Okay, for face, it only detects there is a face. Cannot tell you okay whether the person is of a certain age group, middle age, or wearing a glass, wearing a mask. So that kind of extra details you will not get with X series AI. Oh my god, my screen was not being shared. Okay, yeah. All right. So the question was, if someone needs a face detection camera, which series should I go with, P series or X series? As X and P both have AI now. Both P and X series have AI-based object detection. Okay. What is the object? A vehicle is an object, human is an object, face is an object. So these are the four objects that the camera can see. Okay. Yeah. Can you see my screen, Tamar, Tausif? Everything is okay now? Yeah. Okay. Apologies, sir. Previously, I should have opened the chat. I just kept on going. So here we go. The answer to your question, I don't know if it is clear by now. So both of them can use AI-based analytics to detect four types of objects: vehicle, human, face, license plate. Okay. Now, P series has more processor. The processing capability of P series is higher, double the memory, double the processing power. So it can extract more attributes from the scene. When it sees a car, it will find out what type of car. So it's called attribute. Then what is the color of the car? Attributes of the car. For a human, it will detect whether it's a male or a female, shirt color, trouser color, it will detect. For a person, a face, it will detect whether it's a age group, whether he's wearing mask, glass, and all that. Okay. So this is possible with P series. But if you use X series AI, you will get accurate analytics using AI. But for a vehicle, it is very much limited to car, bus, truck, motorbike, bicycle, all that is okay, but no color. So simply remember, X series AI, you cannot search color based analytics. No color. Okay, you can detect a person, but you cannot do filters like whether he's wearing a shirt color or shirt color red or black color shirt. That cannot be done. Same for the face. You cannot figure out whether it's age group, middle age, or small age, or wearing a glass or a mask. So that cannot be done with X series AI. So let me, if you see here, let me try to connect to a system. One second. Okay, everything's offline. Let's see this. Okay, just a second. Search. Smart search. No, just search. Object search. So I'm looking for person. This is today. So all the person that the camera saw is captured here. So the first person to enter the office 5:44 a.m. and 6:48 I came in the office. So this is um, P series. The reason is I can search by gender. I can also search by clothing color. So let's say black. So all black can be filtered. If you use X series, this part is not there. You can search for person, but you cannot figure out the color and stuff. That's the only difference. Okay. Now, P series has some more expansion capabilities. Okay. Occupancy monitoring. You can install applications called occupancy monitoring, so you know how many people are still in the. So let's quickly go to that slide. So this is occupancy monitoring application. So you know how many people are in the property, counting, basically counting analytics. You can group multiple cameras and count together. Then there is in the future you can have additional analytics like traffic jam detection, person fall detection. So something to do with more advanced level. Okay. Uh, uh, Traffic jam, car counting, fall detection. So let's say you're proposing this camera to a city surveillance, so you can add more and more AI-based analytics to P series. Um, X series you can consider as the first level of AI, where the customer requires a deep learning algorithm to ensure whatever analytics camera is doing is very accurate compared to the traditional analytics. All right. Why compared to the traditional analytics? I think some of you already know traditional analytics, they cannot perform in a complex scenarios. For example, where there is uh, a traditional analytics, for example, here uh, when the tree is moving, it will detect as motion. That is a traditional analytics because the object size is as big as a human being. So the camera will think it's a person. The tree branch is as tall as a human, right? Shadows. So these all cause motion alarms. Whereas in AI based, using deep learning, these kind of alarms are rejected. Another one is rain. Even if there is rain, camera will not be triggered as motion unless and until it is finding a human being or a person in the scene. Okay. Now, device manager. Okay. So for today now, let's open up camera 192.168.1.160 and a Q series camera and one AI camera, PNB. Okay, so what you're looking at is okay, see this one. All right, so you're looking at one of the camera. This is the web page of the camera. Yeah. So in the web page of the camera is um, plug-in free, plug-in free, which means you don't have to download any in viewer plugin. Most of the cameras they require a JavaScript plugin or some special plugin to open the web page and view the live video and so on. For us, it is plugin free interface for our cameras, and it's a feature rich. For example, you have option to even do recording using the web browser. You can record, you can take snapshot, you can trigger the relay contact from the web page. You have counter, pixel counter. So I can count here how many pixels my camera is producing for this door. So if someone is entering through the door and I need identification, what is identification? 250 pixels per meter. So if I need identification, currently it is only giving 200. So if someone is entering through the door, my door is 1 meter, roughly 1 meter. Identification means 250 pixels per meter, right? So I zoom in. That's why when you zoom in, image is more clear because you have more pixels per meter. So right now, once I've zoomed in, I have around 244. Okay, let's say 250 pixels per meter. I can zoom in further and can get around 200 and 260 something. Okay, pixels per meter. So now if someone is entering through the door, his face is clear. Now if I zoom out, the pixel is roughly 200. So now this is recognition. So this can be done through the web page. You have information tab. You can figure out which IP addresses are accessing the camera, how many streams are being sent, how many frames are being sent, what is the bandwidth that is being sent. All that you can get from the camera. Then full screen, then you can also adjust the different profiles of the camera. There is a live profile, there is a recording profile. Each profile is a combination. For example, low for SSM. So this is MJPEG 2 megapixel. Then live for NVR. This is 2 megapixel H.264 5 frames. So there are different resolution frame rate settings. Someone has already created it and you can just view it from the web page. Um, Next is yeah, all this sharpness, brightness, all that you can adjust. That's okay. Next is playback. If you have SD card, you can play back from the SD card. Settings. Settings is where you have the full-fledged access to the camera. Okay. When you are in the camera, first option that you see is video profile. What is video profile? What is video profile? Is a profile is a combination of resolution, frame rate, and codec. So I can, so let's say I have a live profile here, H.264, 2 megapixel, and it's 5 frames. I can make it, let's say, 30 frames. So this is my live view profile. So when you connect, when a NVR is connecting to the camera, the NVR will ask for profile number 2, which is H.264 and 2 megapixel 30 frames. Okay, now when the NVR is connecting to the camera, it will ask for H.264 30 frames 2 megapixel. But when the same NVR is recording the camera, it will check whether the camera has some other profile. So there is another profile in the camera called H.265. So the NVR will ask the camera, okay, give me H.265 for recording, and I will record at only 5 frames or 10 frames. You can adjust this. So let's say 15 frames. So now when you add the same camera to NVR or Milestone or Hanwha VMS or any VMS or any NVR, and if the NVR supports at least two profiles from the camera, it will when you do live view, it will give you full frame 2 megapixel 30 frames, and when the same NVR is recording, it will record another profile from the same camera at 2 megapixel 15 frames. So different resolution settings, even if you change um, a little bit of your frame rate, you need a new profile. So within one profile, I cannot have multiple frame rate. That is not possible. So let's say I want to view on my mobile phone. So in that case, I have to create another profile in the camera. I call it MJPEG profile or H.265 or MJPEG, and create a frame rate. So when you're using a mobile phone to connect, you can customize and or you can choose from the mobile app. Just show me MJPEG or profile with maybe half megapixel, maybe bandwidth issues there or whatever. Okay, so like that you can create multiple profiles. You can create 10 profiles in X series. You can create 3 profiles in Q series, and similar for others also. But X series 10 different profiles. Each profile can have a different resolution, different codec, and different frame rate. So for example, any project will have live view recording. Minimum there is a requirement for, let's say, 5 megapixel 30 frames, and recording maybe 2 megapixel 15 frames or 5 MP 15 frames. So at least they need 2 profiles. In case they have, let's say, a multi-branch office. What is multi-branch office? There are 20 branches, and HQ, head office, wants to centrally view all cameras. So when you have centrally viewing all cameras via internet, and you have a bandwidth of 2 Mbps only, in that case you cannot stream 5 megapixel. You need 5 Mbps, right? So in that case, if the camera has another profile called remote profile, you can create, let's say, VGA half megapixel 10 frames. So like that you can use the camera. Not only for remote, when you use SSM, when you view the camera, so let's say I'm viewing multiple cameras. So let's remove this, they are offline. So this camera, right now it is 640 by 360, but actually the camera is 2 megapixel. So why is it showing 640? When I'm viewing in very condensed layout like this, 5 by 5, 6 by 6, there is no point showing 5 megapixel in such a small screen. So here, if I make this full screen, right click, camera properties, this is 4K. But when I zoom out, I mean, when I make multi-style, it is 640. So you can also reduce the CPU load. So memory, don't worry. CPU usage you can reduce for your computer if you are switching the profile from the VMS. So in this particular VMS, I can go even 100 layout. I can see, let's say, let me pull this. So you can see, I can see so many cameras and still be within the processor limit because I have multiple profiles from the camera. So my PC does not get overloaded. Automatically, the VMS will ask the NVR, okay, I am seeing too many cameras, so just give me another resolution. No need to overload the CPU. So in case your cameras don't have more than two profiles, then what happens? If I don't have a third profile option, if my camera only supports two profile, in that case, I am forced to show 2 megapixel. I am forced to show 5 megapixel. Why? Because I have to record anyway. I cannot change. I have to record a 5 mega 15 frames, and I have to view 5 mega 30 frames because you're purchasing a 5 mega. At least you have to see in 5 mega when you see in full screen, right? So when you see multi-screen, it's okay because the size of the screen, this particular size is it's only 100 by 200 or something. So there's no point putting 5000 when the pixel size is only 100 here. So if you click on the information, um, if you see 5 by 5, it will tell that um, the output dimension is 336. So the width of this size of the style is only 300 pixels. So there is no point showing 5000 pixels. So automatically the VMS will adjust. So this is the benefit of multi-profile. So Q series has three. So at least you have live view, recording, and what? Multi-view profile or remote profile. Okay. Now that is fine. Now profile and stream. Don't be confused. If in the here the same camera I can pull once, twice, thrice. That is fine. Okay. That is not profile. When you pull the same camera two times, that is not a profile. That is stream of one profile one. So right now, profile one I pulled three times. Profile two, one, two, three, four, five, six times I pulled. So that is different. Okay, the camera uh, profile is three, but does not mean it only give three streams. No, that is different. You can pull the live view. Let's say if you want to record in two NVR, so you will take two streams of profile two or profile three from the camera. All right, so you can record parallelly. So that is called streams. Okay, X series has 20 streams, Q series has six streams. Okay, Unicast. If you do multicast means the switch will duplicate the streams for you. So camera will send once, the switch will duplicate it to as many people as it requires. So camera will create 5 mega and send to the switch. Switch will send to all the VMS, NVR, everyone. 20, 100, 200, doesn't matter, depends on the switch. If it is unicast, if there are two NVRs, camera itself will send 5 mega 30 frames. It will create two times and send it to the both the NVR for recording or live view if you have redundant NVR or something. Okay, so that is different compared to profile. So profile, so sometimes some Chinese customers cameras they will say our camera can give 5 megapixel 30 frames five times, so it's five profile. No, it's not true. That is one profile only is giving five streams. That is possible. Most cameras is okay. Flexibility is when the camera can give one 5 megapixel 30 frames, then another 5 megapixel 10 frames. That's where the challenge is. That's where the CPUs. This is where most of the low cost cameras make a compromise. Okay, that's where they cut cost. That's where their processor cannot perform basically called dual native resolution. Now you might think why you need this. You need it for flexibility. Okay, in case your camera cannot give another 5 megapixel 15 frames. So what you have to do in this case, you have to record, or you have to forcefully record and view at 30 frames. So slightly more storage you have to give. In the future, if you want to add camera, more expensive. Okay, so you have to buy 5 and record at 5 only. So that flexibility is not there. Okay, what if you buy 4K? You have to record 4K. You cannot record in a different resolution. So that is the thing when you have single profile NVR or single profile camera. Okay, now we were looking at profiles. So you can create multiple profiles for cameras. Now there are many things here. You can enable audio for the camera, ATC. It's called if you have bandwidth issue. Let's say you're transmitting over wireless. You can tell the camera, okay, if there is not enough bandwidth, and in that case, okay, reduce the automatically increase compression, so the video will not get stuck, or reduce the frame rate automatically. So this is not something we generally use. This is for very special remote site projects. Then crop encoding. Crop encoding means you can from the entire scene, the camera is looking at this whole scene. You can say I'm not interested in this top ceiling area, just I want to crop and only show the door area. So that is called crop encoding. So your bandwidth you can customize, or you can make it more efficient and say, okay, only stream that specific area. Then yeah, this is fine. VBR is variable bitrate. So maximum. So camera will not exceed 2048. Okay, but it will go below. If the bandwidth is less, it will go below. And let's see. Okay, we'll see that part later. Next is dynamic. Okay, multicast. If your specifications are saying camera should support multicast, it supports. So you can check it up later online. It will send the stream to the switch. Switch will multicast and send it to different client devices, recording devices, and so on. You can set user permissions for camera, not often used, but sometimes required. Guest access. Sometimes the ministry wants to see the camera. They don't want VMS in between. They don't want anything else in between. They will open the web page and show. They will have the IP address of your property, and they want to see the camera. So in that case, you can give a special user for them. You can create a user for them and password for them and give it. So when they log in, they don't have to download any plugin, nothing, just Chrome browser. They can log in, get access. Okay. Guest access means without password, if you want someone to get a video, you can do. This is, let's say, for a supermarket, you want to show that they are being monitored, you want to put a TV screen and show the video, there you can put guest access. Okay. Date and time. This is a camera. You can fix the date and time in many ways. You can do manual, that is fine, or you can synchronize with your laptop or your PC, or you can synchronize with an NTP server. NVR can be an NTP server, VMS PC can be an NTP server, or any third party master clock system can be an NTP server. So you can sync your PC with any third party systems, okay, any third party clock systems, and then get the correct time. So question is, does the camera support NTP? Yes. Is the in the sense, does okay, what else? It has some flexibility. You can sync with a redundant NTP service. Maybe you can put NVRIP, SSMIP, whichever is online. First, it will check the address 1. If it is offline, it will check the address 2 for the time. All right. Next is IP address. That is fine. You have IP address subnet mask. DNS, we don't change. Whatever is there, we leave it as it is. Also, we don't change any of this. Very few projects they will ask you to customize MTU packet size. Not really done in most projects. You can even customize the port. Your web page is port 80. You can make it port 80, 89. So that means if someone tries to access your camera, and for example, on 160, it will not go unless and until he knows the port number. Because you change the port number 80, 89. So 80, 88, 80, 89 is a web page. So this is all cyber security related enhancement. Many vendors cannot really, do this customization of ports for cameras, and then the entire camera will collapse if you change. So, so this is possible. These are global ports. What do you mean by global port? So if I have um, HTTP port. So if you go and type what is the port number for HTTP, it is 80. This is the default port. So anyone wants to access the web page of any device, by default, they will try port number 80. Okay, so this is what you see here. By default, port number 80 is reserved for the web page, and but you can customize. Okay, so that flexibility you have with the cameras. Next, in the camera, you cannot enter a standard password like 123 456 like that. You cannot have such passwords. You should have capital letter, you should have small letter, you should have a symbol. It has to have capital small letter symbol minimum, and number also. Only then you can create a password. And when a camera is brand new for the first time, for example, so let's say I will let's reset this camera. So I've reset it, and when it comes back, it will not have any default password. So when the camera is shipped to you, by default there is no password. You have to create for the first time. Okay, so that's something part of the cyber security. So I don't know what is the password. Your colleague will not know. Only you who created the password will know. Unless you share it, no one else will know the password. And it cannot be 123 456 or something. And because it will ask you to make sure the password complies to certain criteria. Okay. Okay. So we'll see when it comes back online. So it says here new password, confirm new password. Your password should be 8 to 9 letters long, combination of at least 3 types, number, uppercase, special, and special characters. So without that, it will not accept your new password. Okay, and without setting the password, you cannot create or you cannot make any profiles changes. You cannot make any adjustments to the camera. First, you have to create the password, and only then you can access the camera. Okay, fine. Now let's go to the next one. IP port, we saw that. This is QNV. Okay, next is see video. PTC. Okay. Next is video setup. Video setup, you can okay, here also we can go. So some cameras have PTC. If your camera is PTC, you will have this function. You can set up preset, zoom in, zoom out, all that. And if it is not a PTC, for example, this camera is not a PTC. This is, sorry, this camera is not a PTC, so you don't see that. However, you will see focus option. What is focus? You can zoom in, zoom out. You can zoom in and click on simple focus, and then it will focus the camera. After that, you can adjust the settings accordingly. Okay, so this is zoom in, zoom out, iris setting, all that is available. Okay, this is part of the camera lens option. Next is video setup. Video setup, it'll be similar to, let's say this is PTZ camera. Video setup. Video setup, you have a privacy zone. You can create privacy mask. So this is a Q series, Q208080. So let's say if you want to create a privacy mask, you can make a privacy mask. And how many privacy masks you can make, that you have to check in the datasheet. Okay, 4, 8, 32, 16. That you have to check in the datasheet of the camera. It will be mentioned in number 32 masks you can create. Okay. Yeah, I can create this. Okay, we'll see these are small features: flip, rotate, hallway, corridor view, hallway view, where you can rotate the camera by 90 degrees. That you can do. Cameras have, not all cameras have USB. X series, P series, you will see this USB slot. What is USB dongle here? When you plug any around 10 models of Wi-Fi dongle. Okay, so it will be in the manual of the camera. Let me. So you can plug a Wi-Fi dongle here. NetEyes, TP-Link, Edimax. There are around 10 brands, 10 models you can connect. Anything you buy from Amazon, no need to buy from us. Okay, you plug that Wi-Fi dongle. After that, camera becomes like a hotspot. Any installer can now access using his phone. He doesn't have to call somebody to check, okay, whether to go left, right, or focus. You can do it directly from the phone. You don't have to have IP address. You can directly log into the camera. There is a uh, um, you can log in and you can, I mean, using our application, there is an installation app that we supply. You have to download that app, and using that, you can do it. Now, once you enable, you can, once you finish, you can remove the Wi-Fi dongle and plug it to the next camera for installation and do the same. Once you finish, you can switch it off. Okay. So this you can do it from a tool called Device Manager also. You can enable, disable certain things. Okay, as a bulk. So for example, let's say all the cameras that I logged in, I can select, I can create a profile for all the cameras, but it should be under the same model. So I can create, let me, okay, better way of exam making it. Okay, I can set the date and time, for example. Select all, change the time zone, put an NTP IP address, NTP address for all the cameras at once. I can also adjust the IP address of all the cameras at once. So I can put IP assign, I can put the starting IP range, ending IP range, automatically it will fix everything. So this is the job of device manager. Then uh, there is audio setup. Audio setup is if you want to do recording, you can. There is two types, line in and external mic. Line in and audio in, I believe. So one of them you can, our camera can give power to the mic also. Okay, so it is flexible, so it supports both. Then all this is noise reduction, audio codec, all that is there. Then camera setup. Camera setup is to do with the image sensor part. What is image sensor? Wide dynamic range, WDR, enable, disable. So let's see if there's another camera. Okay, very good example to show WDR. So camera is having a bright sunlight coming from outside. So I go to the camera setup and let's say indoor backlight. And before that, I think someone changed other things. Uh, Frame rate, all that is okay. Okay, anyhow, so once this is where you activate WDR. You can go here and say, I want to activate WDR. So now you can, yeah, there's nothing much to see, but if there are some objects outside, we are in the 20th floor, but yeah, so you can see outside also. So maybe I'll try to show some other camera with a better view. And yeah, so what else you can do? WDR, highlight compensation, backlight compensation is not a true WDR. WDR is the actual one. You can set high, low, medium. So if your WDR level is too high, too low, you can adjust automatically. Okay, so right now you can make it auto. When you put auto, the camera itself will do the job of adjusting what is the required level of WDR within that range. And so yeah, if you switch off WDR, uh, window is bright and indoor is dark. When you activate WDR, you should be able to see some details are from outside as well as some details on the inside. Then turn off during low light, turn off in black and white mode. So all these are additional settings. When you are a WDR is not required when you have low light. A WDR is required when you have a lot of backlight or sunlight. So automatically you can switch these things off. Now this part may be slightly different when you have a Q series. Let's see. Under backlight, in Q series you will see WDR middle, but automatic switching and turning on. So okay, so now you can see behind the window there is some other building in this view, parallel view. Okay, anyhow, what you cannot see in Q versus X. Where is that X? This camera. Okay, X series will have auto options. You got it? So there is the slight difference. Automatically switching off, automatically adjusting low light. So these extra options are there in the X series when it comes to WDR. Okay. Then exposure settings. When you have indoor environments, people use vivid video, so the color is more uh, contrasted and looks nicer. And when you're looking for number plates, there is already preset. So when you do all this, the exposure level keeps changing by itself. So when I say indoor backlight, the exposure level changes, WDR level changes. So these are presets, image preset. Just like your phone, iPhone, you have image mode. You can choose which image mode. Which looks good, it depends on you for that scene actually. So there are some common settings. These are image presets. So you have to select which one is good for you. Next is day night mode. Okay, all this is fine. On-screen display. On-screen display is where you type in the camera, date, and you can add a camera title. You can say zoom. This is Samuel Camp Floor 1. It will get printed here, right? And you can adjust the size, color, left, right, up, down, all that you can do. Wisestream allows you to reduce the camera bandwidth even further. Okay, so if you put Wisestream, automatically when the bandwidth, let's say this particular camera, where is 160 live view, let's say currently the camera is streaming an average of within 10 seconds we'll get the new average. Just a second, some time. Uh, so so 1.3 Mbps for 2 megapixel 30 frames, around 1.3. So you can make Wisestream. For the same scene, the camera will automatically adjust the bandwidth. So just wait for some time, it will update to the new average. So you can see the graph already going halfway down. You see the from the top it is going down. Frame rate is still 30 frames. Camera is still streaming the video. So the new average is from 1.3 for something, it became zero point 0.7 or 700 means divided by 1000, so zero point 0.7. So it reduced by half. For the same scene, it will not reduce the resolution, it will don't reduce the frame rate, it will keep it the same. Okay, so wide stream is good when the scene is idle, there is no activity, it will keep the same. When there is some level of movement, automatically the bandwidth will go slightly higher, or it will go back to its original position, but it will not increase so much, or it will not exceed that limit, whatever is the actual limit. Okay, just a second. So when I walked in and came out, that's when it will increase. After that, it will go back. So this Y stream is like another engine. It's like economy mode in the car. It will keep reducing the bandwidth when there is no need to use that much bandwidth. Okay. Now after our break, we will see the rest of the topic. We have another 1 hour, and we will go through shortly all these, and then go to the camera selection. Today is only about cameras, so let's take a break and be back. So 15 minutes plus 1 hour. So after the break, we'll have up to 1 hour. We can have a class. Depends how we finish. So we'll see you shortly. Okay, let's continue. Okay, next we will jump to analytics. In analytics, you will find that in camera, let's say this is X series, you can draw multiple, for motion detection, you can draw multiple zones. You can draw, you can make one zone covering the entire scene, or you can have multiple zones. Each zone you can have a specific level of detection, means what is the current level of movement and how much movement is required to trigger the alarm, and how long the movement should be there or motion should be there to trigger the alarm. Then you can also schedule when the analytics should trigger the alarm. So all that you can customize in the camera. You can exclude some area if there is an advertisement screen. You can exclude that area from triggering the motion. You can also tell the camera what should be the minimum size of any object. Okay, not from the door, just anywhere. Minimum size 120 pixel by 217, or minimum any object which is above the size only will be detected. So if there is a small bird or something, it will be rejected from detecting motion. So you got the idea. So this is the typical way of setting motion detection. Tamper detection, you can have if someone is blocking the camera, it will trigger the alarm. Motion detection, we saw eight zones you can draw in the Q series. Where is the Q series? Analytics, motion. You can draw four zones. In X series, you can draw eight zones. This one, you can draw four. In Q series, you have tamper detection, same. Then defocus detection. If the camera is losing focus, you can tell the camera to focus itself automatically. Then line crossing. So you can draw, you can say if someone is crossing this line, trigger an alarm. Uh, you can draw eight lines here. You can draw virtual area. What is virtual area? So let's say this is my storage area. Uh, if someone goes to the storage area, I need an alarm. So that is called storage. You can say if someone enters, I need an alarm immediately. Okay, so for example, if I it will trigger the, if I try to take something, it will trigger the alarm because I entered the zone. Same way you can put for parking lot. You can say if someone entered the parking lot or some specific parking lot is not allowed to enter. So that can be done. You can do enter exit intrusion. Okay, virtual line if someone is going in a specific direction, going the wrong direction, car is going the wrong direction, you can trigger the alarm. So far okay. Now next is what's with the AI camera. Let's see if we have an AI camera around. Okay, before that, we saw Q series. In X series, same thing, motion, tamper, defocus, but it has more analytics, fog detection, and not commonly used, face detection you have. Okay, this is using the traditional method of face detection. If you enable it, it will look for any shape of a face with eyes and nose. It will try to detect. S- Intelligent video analytics, line crossing, zone crossing. Uh, in this, you have X series. You have Appear and disappear. That means if you leave an object, if some object is removed, it will trigger an alarm. So slightly more. Then audio detection, sound classification, okay, gunshot, explosion. So this is available in X, whereas in Q, you don't see audio related analytics. Okay. Now, the reason I'm showing you in this method is I'm sure you are tired of looking at PowerPoints, so that's why I'm giving you directly looking at the camera interface, so it stays in our memory longer. Okay. Next is where is the AI camera? So let's take the AI camera. How is AI camera different? In AI camera, there is a section here in the web page called best shot. So if someone is walking in, it will just take a snapshot and show what it is capturing. It will be also saved in the VMS. Okay, so at the bottom it's almost similar, the similar. However, analytic wise, you have a feature called object detection. What is object detection? You can tell the camera, I am looking for person. You don't have to put size of the person. You don't have to put what is the minimum size to detect. Camera is already trained. It knows what's a person, what is not a person. So you got it. Vehicle, face, license plate. So it's already been trained with multiple, libraries of persons from different nationalities, different height, gender. It's been trained to identify or pick up or detect who's a person. So this it will do by itself. Then when you do analytics and when you draw a line, you have more flexibility now. You can say if a person is crossing the line, I want an alarm. So if a vehicle is crossing on the right side, I need alarm. So I can customize that, which you cannot do in X series or Q series, which does not have AI. But with if it is having AI, you can do this kind of level of customization or this level of filter scenario you can create for AI. The same way, social distancing, 2 meter detection, face mask detection, then people counting. We can see that here. You can say I'm looking to do people counting. So I've drawn a line entry. If there is one more entry, I can put another line here. So I can say two entry, entry one, entry two. If they go in the opposite direction, it will detect. If they come inside, it will add. So if they come in from out to in, it will add. If they go from in to out, it will detect. So occupancy monitoring, this is an application, free application available for our cameras. I need to update this. Okay. Okay, for now you have to check here. Oops, okay, just a second. So occupancy monitoring is an application that is running in the camera. When you click go to app, it will go to the occupancy setup page. You can say which is the master camera, every other AI camera which is having li- people counting, rule 1, rule 2. You saw two lines you can draw for counting. It will add it to the master camera. Okay. Then, okay, this is fine. Next is you configure the reset time. So every day at the end of the shift, you want to reset the counter. You can say some two people are already inside, so you start from two. Let's say the store manager or staff. So you start from there. After that, you can Customize. Later on, you can customize even the logo, entry message, exit message. You can add company logo and all that. So when a person is entering, it will keep adding. So now this is the from the camera web page. You can open in any PC, any laptop. You can open the web page of the camera, and it will show this. It will have this application running. Okay, and it will be updated every 5 seconds, which we can customize also. And so let's say, so if there are 11 people, it will show red. So yeah, okay. Now, now there are four series for cameras: Q, X, P, and T. Q and X are, you can say, roughly same. P is also same, except there are four cameras in one body. For example, uh, multi panoramic camera. All right. So let's say, let me see if I have a panoramic around. So a panoramic camera, web page. Okay. It has four sensors, so basically it's showing in four, but actually it will, let me see. Yeah, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. But if you see, everything else is same. Left side video profile is the same, audio video settings are the same, analytics are similar, face detection, intelligent video analytics, um, video setup. Okay, Y stream network, motion detection. So what you do differently, you have to do it for each sensor separately. Channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. So that's the difference between a standard camera analytics, I mean setup, and the multi-sensor. So the interface, everything is similar except you do it for four cameras separately. All right, how is that four cameras separately? You go to one IP address. Under that, you have four channels. Okay, there is a panoramic camera. Let's see this one. So the previous one is a multi-direction camera. So this is a panoramic camera. One camera looking from left to right, 180 degree. So here, one channel stitching all the images together, and then you can do same stuff. Okay, we don't have to configure individual sensor. When you add it to the NVR, you say I'm only interested in the stitched image. So this is the stitched image of the entire four sensors. So you can configure analytics also for that central image, which is the entire scene altogether. Okay, for the entire zone, you can configure motion detection, and you can have 8 zones. Sorry, 7 zones. You can have. Sorry, again, 8 zones. This is 7 channel. 8 zones you can have. Right. So the difference, you don't see much. It's just almost same. The way you set up is the same. Okay. Now P series is known for multi-sensors, multi-sensor, multi-direction, four camera, left, right, up, down, two cameras. All this is P series. Okay. Then T series. T series is known for thermal camera, Positioning camera, explosion proof camera, oil and gas camera with IR, without IR, corner mount cameras, cameras which are used occasionally, not for, I mean, out of 100 projects, one or two projects is oil and gas project, city surveillance project, perimeter, border security projects, a prison or a school, high, I mean, high vandal resistant cameras, corner mount cameras. So you will find it under T series. Okay. Next is X and X and Q. X series is what we saw, but what's the difference between X and Q? How did we differentiate? Under X, we call it versatile series, which means most projects they need dome, bullet. You have dome, bullet, and you have some dome here. But in X series, you will also find the same dome and bullet with long lens option, more IR range option, maybe 50-meter IR, 60 lens, pinhole cameras, something different, pinhole cameras, stainless steel body cameras. Okay, not explosion proof, just same dome camera, but stainless steel body. A PTZ camera with IR, but long range IR, 500 meters IR. Okay, so the most extreme or most flexible range in terms of IR or analytics, X series also we saw in the remote connection we saw here on the X series. You have all the analytics, sound analytics, line crossing, IVA, person, object, appear, disappear, motion, tamper, defocus, fog detection. All that is available in X series. Okay. Then under X series, there are two main difference, AI or non-AI. Okay, so we will see that later on when we do the toolbox. But overall, all the X, you have this option. You have ATM option, you have pinhole option, you have fisheye option, long range IR with IR, without IR PTZ, with Viper PTZ, stainless steel body, microdomes, transportation for taxis and cars. So you can find almost every type of camera in X series, small standard project to high-end critical security projects. Okay, and you will have in two option, with AI or without AI. That also you have. Now, there is one word we use for our cameras under X called plus. Plus means it does not mean additional analytics. Okay, do not be confused. Plus simply refers to um, an architecture or the way the camera is designed. So when we ship a camera which is called X Plus, it is called a modular camera. The camera is shipped uh, in three components, and when you open the box, you will see it is already there is a hole here, so you can directly plug in and set up the IP address. You don't have to unbox itself. You don't have to take the time to unscrew anything. You can quickly set up the IP address. After that, that particular IP address which you set for the dome drive, which is inside, this is the camera part. Okay, on the sorry, on the right side back box, everything will be shipped in a small separate box. So you can make installation more faster. You can give to the installer the back box, he will fix it. You can do the IP address, and once you finish, you can snap. There is a magnet at the back of the camera. You can just snap it in. No need to screw. Actually speaking, not really very much popular in our region because it does not really save a lot of money for us. Some places where installation time is directly related to money, labor cost is higher, there it makes sense. But here it's not really that popular, this kind of method. But yeah, we have a separate structure called modular structure just to help with the installation. You can save 30 seconds, 40 seconds per camera. Okay, so you will see in the slide X core. Core means the camera, standard camera. It will just ship with all the features. Everything is similar. The plus structure will have this modular base, modular dome module. You can just snap it in with a magnet, and it is shipped in a way that you can quickly set up the IP address and all that. Okay, so that is how that plus architecture came. Then later on today, uh, in AI series, X plus also has some very minor, feature difference. What is that minor feature difference? 120 frames per second you can get from the camera. Again, not many projects you see 120 frames per second. Then 70-meter IR range for a dome camera. Again, not very commonly seen, but you can find it in X plus. Okay. Now, um, you in non-AI, you can find it in this 70-meter and all that. This something it's better you check the data sheet before you go with any model. But the word plus refers to this modular structure. Okay. So even in X non-AI, there are two X and X plus. The plus means modular structure. Okay. Now, um, whenever we do product quotation, we really don't go with the plus model unless and until it is there is budget for it, or unless and until the project is somebody specified the project with plus models. Otherwise, we just go with standard models. Okay. Next is last is Q series. Q series is your typical project. You need a dome camera, you need standard IR, you need standard lens. You go with Q series. Okay. If you need if you need here if you need standard lens, you go with Q series. But if you need long range lens, you go with X series. Or if you need just a standard lens, 30-meter IR, you go with Q series. But if you need the standard lens, but 50-meter IR, 70-meter IR range in the camera, you go with X series. Or you need just standard lens, 30-meter IR, it's okay. But you need more analytics. I need object removed analytics, sound analytics, fog detection. I want AI. Some models I want AI. So you go with X series. Otherwise, you can stick with Q series. So you see the difference. If you need more than the standard requirement, look at X series. Okay. Under X series, again, there is X, X plus, X core, different series, but it's very easy to identify which is the standard X. Any X series, the first letter, if it end with the letter 0, it is a standard model. No AI, just a basic X series camera. Okay, with all the analytics, lens option, all that is there, but it is not X plus or X AI or all that. Okay, so if you want a standard X series camera, make sure you go with version 0. Not only in X, even in Q series or any other series, you start with, whenever you choose a model number, make sure the ending version is 0. If you don't find 0, then you go with version 1, version 2. Where do you find this? In the toolbox, which we will see shortly. Okay, the first letter represents the series. Second letter is IP camera for N. Third letter is the shape. Um, D is for dome. Then bullet is O. Outdoor dome is V. PTZ is P. Zoom camera not used. Multi-sensor camera is M. So depending on the shape, most common is indoor dome D. Outdoor dome V. What is the difference between indoor and outdoor dome? Outdoor dome is IP66. Indoor dome is no IP rating. Nothing. May have, may not have, no guarantee. There is no IP rating for sure. But V, for sure, it is IP66 minimum. If it is X series, it will have IP67 rating. Okay. So V means outdoor dome. For minimum, it is IP66. Oh, bullet. There is no indoor or outdoor bullet. Everything is outdoor. IP66. Okay. So bullet by default is having IR and all that. Okay. So back here, XN IP camera. Then we saw D. Next is number. This number you don't have to remember. The toolbox will do this work. Just for our reference, starting number 2 megapixel is 6. Okay, so just don't be confused. 6 is not 6 mega, 6 is 2 mega. Okay, so only that you keep in mind. Next is 6, 7, 8, 9. So more the number, more the resolution. Lens. Lens requires two digits, not one digit. So two digits together. If you want adjustable lens, it is 08. So this is a X series camera, dome camera, indoor IP, 2 megapixel. 08 means adjustable lens. 00 means no lens. 01 means fixed lens. 07 means um, adjustable lens but no motor. What is no motor? No motorized. So if it is motorized lens, I can zoom in and out, right? But if it is not motorized, I cannot do this from the web page. I have to physically go take a ladder, climb up to the ceiling, open the camera, rotate the lens. Just like your DSLR, manually you have to rotate. So that is called manual varifocal lens, motorized varifocal. Okay, most of the projects you can just go with motorized. It's more uh, flexible for installation. Okay, now after this is 0. 0 means version. Then R is for IR, additional feature. If you go with the X series, some cameras don't have IR. So R represents infrared. Any series, Q series, X series, if your model number end with the letter R, it is IR. Okay. So why two digits? Let's say it is a PTZ camera. If it is a PTZ camera, for example, I have here XNP 9300. Okay. XNP 9300 RW. What is the meaning? X series. What is the definition of X series? It will have all the analytics. It will have all the features, multiple zones, all that stuff, no issues. What is N? N means IP camera. P means PTZ camera. Okay, this 9 is resolution. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 6 is 2 mega, 7, 8, and 9 is 4K. It's a 4K PTZ. 30, two digits. 30 means 30x zoom. Version 0. R is for IR, and you can have additional letters. Okay, so this is a good point to explain. This additional feature, you can add as many as you want. You can add RS, IR with stainless steel, or you can add RS, RZ. You can keep adding as many letters as you want. So don't keep adding like that. It will increase the price. Just look for the basic letter and stick with it. Don't keep adding extra letter to increase your pricing. Okay, so what is W? W is for wiper. So here this camera has got a PTZ camera has got a wiper, so it can clean the glass. That's why it is W. Okay. Okay. Now we will see now how to do a model selection. Okay. Now let me share the screen. safety, Hanwha CCTV, go to the website which has that dash in between. Hanwha dash security. It's the global website. If you find America, you don't need to go there. You can download camera datasheet, but they have some extra cameras. We have some extra. So there is some models which are only sold in US. Some models only sold in the Europe. And here, global is where we all belong to. Global website. Okay. Just a correction here. According to Wikipedia, we have 4,500 people. Yeah. Now, oh, sorry, 2020. Now we have 2,000. So, a lot of errors here. Okay, no worries. So, uh, right now I'm playing a video showing how to do the model selection from the website using Wisenet toolbox. Okay, so let's play this video. Just a second. Just a second. Uh, okay, so go to let's say in Google, just type Hanwha security. Go to our website. So I was just trying to play the video, but I think it will not sync properly, so I will explain it myself. So once you go to the website, sometimes it will land in a different language. So you can click on region and select HQ or English. Then it will go to English language. Okay, so that was in the globe symbol here. After that, you go to Toolbox Plus. Once you go to Toolbox Plus, that's where you do the model selection. Okay. Now, if you have any model selection request, you can push it in the question box. If let's say you want a 2 megapixel camera selection or anything, you can just type it in. So I will do a few example. 5MP outdoor bullet. So let's say 5MP outdoor bullet. When you go to the toolbox, start fresh, click on the three dots on the top right, make new. Okay, fresh. Okay, and uh, and you click on network camera. Okay, network camera. Make sure you click on network camera. Now, filter. You have to filter and say which series you need. Now, this is why I said it from the beginning. When you need an outdoor 5MP bullet camera, to some extent you have to decide which series. So if the customer says I need 30-meter IR, I need analytics, basic security analytics, um, which if Q series is having. For example, in the slide we saw the difference between Q and X. The analytics, motion tamper, defocus, line crossing, intrusion, enter exit, it's there in Q itself. If the analytics is fine, you can stick with Q. He wants 30-meter IR. Okay, you can find a dome bullet in Q. It's fine. Okay, if the customer says I need multi-sensor camera, I need artificial intelligence camera, then you go with P series. Okay, or if he says I need a thermal camera or I need a explosion proof camera, then you go with X T series. All right. So for now, he just needs a standard camera. I can go and select Q series bullet 5 megapixel. Scroll down, check IR, and you need adjustable lens, right? So adjustable lens. That's it. You found your camera. Okay, add it. Okay, if you need a 2 megapixel or 4 mega, you can select from here. 2, 4, all options are there. How do you compare? So you select these two, select all, click comparison. The difference is in orange, 5 mega versus 4 mega. Sensor size slightly different, field of view different. Both are outdoor, both are PoE, all that is same. This doesn't have audio, it has audio. 30 meter is same. Okay, so you can choose. I just need a 5 mega, go with it. Okay, if you want the back box, if you want to mount this camera on the pole, you can also select pole accessory. How? Click on the accessory button and then select the box, pole, and choose. If you want just a wall mount with the additional back box, you can select. Now the same camera, if you need a dome, check and change. Instead of O, Q and O, it is now it is Q and B. Okay, so I'm going to remove some resolution. How do you decide between these two models? Again, select both and click on compare. Okay, compare and see difference. 30 meter, 20 meter. I need minimum 30 meter IR, so I go the first one. This is also outdoor rated. Okay, no issue. I can use it indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter. Okay, done. So this is how you select. If you want ceiling mount, you want smoke bubble, you want a flush mount. So all that you can select from this accessory. Now, Dome is easy when it is Q series, but if you have X series, you have more options. All right, here look for the version 0. Okay, add. Look for version 0, add. Here 0, but you have R and S, stainless steel, IR, not required. RSA, not required. A, version 1, not required. R and extender model, not required. Extra vandal with IR and extender, not required. So all this you can remove. Just go the basic 0 and R and compare which one will be more suitable. Okay, I need 30 meter only. I don't need 50 meters. So I just stick with this. I need indoor camera. It's okay. I don't need any IP rating. If I need outdoor, I need to go with XNV IP66. Okay, done. Next is if you want to select a PTZ camera, just a refresher, go and select a PTZ. You can find very simply the two digits. 25 means 25x zoom, 40 means 40x zoom, 55 55x zoom. W means it's written here wiper. Okay, so you can select one. Next is I need let's say AI, artificial intelligence. Go all the way down. You can see here AI camera, and I need AI camera, 5 megapixel AI camera. We I think we have 6 only instead of 5, so go 6 megapixel. X or P, you can select AI camera. You'll find in all X series 6 megapixel you have AI camera. If you want 2 mega, go with 2 mega. You will have X, you will have P also. So now you need to know the difference between XAI and PAI. X and P difference is color. P will give you attributes, color attributes. X will not give that. Okay. If you want to do counting with AI, just go with people counting. All the AI cameras have people counting, so no difference. Okay, then let's say multi-sensor camera. Multi-sensor, this is a 6 megapixel into 2. Already lens is installed. Here it is saying 10 to 22, which means you have to customize. If you put, okay, we'll take a simple one, uh, 2/5 MP. That means this is a 4-channel camera, but not decided whether it is 2 megapixel each or 5 megapixel each. So when you add this, you have to select the lens. You see the last one, lens, select. Each lens you have to choose whether it is 2 mega or 5 mega, 5 mega, 4 mm, so that you can customize. Yeah. After that, you can take a bandwidth report. So once you click on bandwidth, click on camera again, put the number of cameras. After that, number of days, edit the settings, continuous recording. Click on, okay, how to come here? Click on setup. So first is quantity and days, that's it. After that, you can reduce further, like voice stream, H.265, frame rate, time of recording. So you can change all this. Click on settings. At the bottom, you are recording at 5 mega, leave it 5. If you want to change to 2 mega, make it 2. If you want to record in H.265, always better to record H.265. If you're recording in 15 frames, change that. First one, retail space, you don't have to change this one, and light also we don't have to change. Recording type, if you want to record motion recording full time, you can select it. Or if you want to record continuously full time, you can select that. Okay, so by default, it is recording H.264. You just have to change each time. And this motion, it is recording 20% of the day in motion. Make it all continuous. Okay, do the same for each. Then the last one is a multi-sensor. Multi-sensor also you have to do this. For each lens you can do, or you can apply to all. But remember, some lenses are 5 mega, so you have to be careful. So this is 2 mega lens. This is 5 mega lens, H.265. So you have to adjust that, make continuous, and so you have to do for each, and that's it. Now when you take a report, you can change the logo, you can add some company name, project name, description. You can get a bandwidth report of each camera by camera bandwidth report. What is the total storage required? You will get the whole thing. Okay. Whatever accessories you selected, you will also find it here. Okay. On top of this, let's say after you finish the project, you can save. So it will get saved in your downloads. You can edit the name of the project and save it. Tomorrow, if you want to add one camera, you just click open, upload that file, and edit it again. Got it? So NVR and all, we will see it's part of NVR course, but it's simple for this. Just one example. Let's say I want a 64 channel NVR. You can also select and compare which NVR is suitable. So remove this. 8 hard disk, 16 hard disk option, and so I will just go with 8 hard disk option. Calculate NVR. Look for the exclamation mark. Keep changing this till you have that gone. And storage, you can increase the size of the hard disk. And hard disk, we have to buy separately. It is not included for our NVR. From the distributor, they will include for you, but you have to, it's a separate, we have a separate list, supported hard disk list. you can buy from that list. So which will be covered in NVR course. So anyhow, so you got the idea. Camera, you can get whatever details is needed. Next is field of view. You can also do field of view coverage. You can put your mouse over the Dory guide, so you can find 250 pixel. The first picture is identification. So if a person is standing at 5 meter and the camera is, let's say, around 3 meter, and if the person is at 5, I'm getting 323 pixels. So this is identification. If he's going very far, recognition, detection, right? So this also you can do from your device manager. You can take a report. Last is map. You can even upload a map. So you can add a map. You can say I want to upload, let's say, desktop first floor, and let's say I have to calibrate the map. I can say door. Usually doors are 1 meter, so this door is 1 meter. I can say it's 1 meter. Okay, done. So map is calibrated. Then you can drag and drop this camera here, and you can check the coverage and say here, and increase the tilt, so you can cover. So as you go further from the distance, you are losing the identification, recognition, and all that. Okay, so this is how you can also take a report from this as well. Okay, you can take a report, emap, can take a report also. All right, so we talked about the different camera series. Most of the projects are Q and X series. Okay, and most of the products that you will use are ending with 0 and R. Okay, the lens, the two digits, varifocal and PTZ. Q series, X series, this all you have to decide. Okay, and you can refer the PowerPoint which I'll be sharing with you, and based on that you can decide. Toolbox is where you figure out what is the information, storage, mounting, accessory, wall mount, pole mount, all that you can select from the toolbox. Okay, if you need more information about any product, all you have to do is go to the website, and once you figure out the model, you have to type the model number here. Let's say XNO6080R. Okay, so when it is in Korean, you can click on the language button, change it to English. So you just wait for it to download, so the website, and then you change it to English. Okay, so right now let me go directly. So when you go to the specific product page, you can go to the downloads. Under download, you can get datasheet. Datasheet, you will find how many zones, privacy zone, how many motion zone, all that extra information. You can get the CAD drawing, you can get the certification files, IP certificate, and all that you can find from here directly. Okay, so change the region, make it English, and then you search for the model. Okay, so that's about it. Now you will receive an email in some time with a link to register for the exam. So once you get the link, go ahead and register it. As soon as you register, you will see um, like this. Just a second. As soon as you register, it says you are registered. You will see before the training, take the test. So this is the test link. So click on it and take the test. You don't have to wait for 26th August or something. You can do the test anytime before this date. Okay, this is not a live test. This is not another training. This is just a test. Just register for the link and do the test. And relevant materials will be in the email. And a recording of the training also will be sent to you. And there will be a link, YouTube link. It will be all the trainings are posted there. So you can also access that. All right. Thank you so much. And if you have any further questions, you can post in chat window. Otherwise, we can disconnect for today.